welcome to another Final Siren Breakout Pod. Duck here from the Purple Rain, Oz here from the Purple Rain, Aiden Riddle here from Fremantle Dockers. Aiden, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks.
That's good to hear. All right, let's start off. We want to talk about a number of things. Let's start off with your draft. Obviously, a little bit of a different one coming through the rookie list. How was that? How was the anxiety about it? Did you think you were going to get picked up? Were the clubs interested? Did you know what was going on?
No, I had no inkling on the Dockers. I was obviously hopeful the night before, just sitting there watching it. It wasn't going my way. And the next day, the rookie drafts come along, and I didn't actually know when it was. I read a few articles saying it was 9 or 12.
Yep.
And
Eastern, it's like daylight
yeah,
savings
I know.
in the East. Like, what's going on?
They can't make it easy, but and then Mum didn't want me to be watching it just because of the anxiety it causes when you're sitting there watching and it's not you. So we went out for a walk along the coast just to go grab some lunch nearby. I was on the coast and my mates called me and let me know like he wasn't sure if he'd heard my name, but he wasn't sure if it was proper, like actually happening. And then when I've got off the phone with him, I was saying I've missed a few calls from Ed and some of the other recruiters. So that was pretty good. It was a nice way to
chewing
find
your
out.
ear off, mate? He's like, "Oh, hey, how you going? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, well,
I might have heard your name, but maybe not. I don't know."
I know.
Man,
He wasn't very clear with it, but yeah, no,
Classic.
I don't think he didn't want to give it away, I think, which was a good thing. But,
okay.
But yeah, no, it all worked out pretty nicely and happy to be where I am. So.
Look, obviously in the lead into the draft itself, you dominated the Colts grand final. Had 17 disposals and 30 hitouts. That's pretty decent. So obviously, you felt, you'd like to think that you felt that you could compete at that level. So in that transition, you've got Colts. Obviously, you've played your PSA footy, Alco season. Talk to us about that. Like, how's that preparation in the lead up and then into your Colts and then getting drafted?
Yeah, well, I made my Colts debut as an underager before I'd played any first 18 footy at school. I think we played West Perth at Joondalup that day and I went all right, solo rucking. And I've come into that first Hale season as a backup ruck to Alex Perrin, who was, I think he's an international high jumper now. He's insanely competitive, yeah. So I played forward all in year 11 for the first, and then the next year I played ruck the whole year, and I missed a couple of weeks with a lower back injury, but that kind of set me up into what happened last year as my overage year. The Colts gave me a real opportunity to attack the season, have a full pre-season, and I was rewarded to play all the games in the state program, which was pretty cool for me at the time as well.
Yeah, nice.
Nice. And you're 200 centimetres, mate. You're a big fella. Talk us about this, your growth as a young man. Were you like, because you played, obviously, like you said, as a 16-year-old in the Colts. So were you really big as a 16-year-old, or like where does this height come from? Is it just like bang, like you're in year 8 and you're like standing at the back of the school photos, like they're like, that guy's not even on a step or anything. That's just how big he is.
Yeah, no, I've always been tallest in my team, tallest in my class. But yeah, I think I was around 195 in my 16th year. So I've always been playing as a ruckman. I've never really been able to play anywhere else because no one could fill my spot as a ruck. So just heaps of years of experience really. I was always pretty tall and skinny, so it's good to see that I'm starting to fill out a bit now, which helps. But I've had plenty of reps in there. So.
And the height, is it from mum's side, dad's side? What?
Bit of both. Dad's 6'3", mum's 6 foot. So
nice.
Yep.
Mum's got some good Dutch genes in there, so she's got some pretty tall relatives. So
nice.
I think I'm the tallest in the family.
So obviously height, I'm going to bring it back to basketball because I can. You played 2 seasons with the first at Hale in the Blackwood season. Shout out to Nico, he's probably listening. So tell us about that, and did you ever think you could make it in basketball? Because obviously you got the height and you can't teach height.
Yeah, so. No, true. Well, we won the Blackwood in year 11 and we came really close in year 12. We came second. I think we lost the game that decided it for us. We lost by 2 or 3 points. But as a kid, you always wanted to go pro in one sport, and it was basketball or footy for me. And I just had a greater love for footy at the time. But school basketball is one of the most memorable things I remember from school. It's super fun. It was the last I played competitive organised sport, basketball. I was pretty happy with my basketball at the school. They do a pretty good job at Hale of making sure everyone's playing sport, and the basketball program's pretty well looked after. So.
Yeah, definitely been into Hale a couple of times in that little gym down the bottom, coaching the Mighty Falls and getting absolutely belted. Look, let's just stay on the basketball track. Have you managed to play some games down here with the boys? Luke Jackson obviously played for Australia. We know that. Brennan Cox, really good basketball player. Are you mixing it up with those guys? Or are you just kind of like, I'll just let the big dogs play and I'll just kind of stand to the side?
Yeah, I'm a bit standoffish yet. We
Got to get in there.
I know I haven't done anything yet, but I've a couple of the first and second years we've had a few flush days here, just by ourselves at the club, and we've gone out and played, and I think I'm at the top of that group.
Yeah,
so,
good. Yep.
You
start somewhere.
We can start building up. Yeah, exactly.
Just sit on the bench, be like, get me in, coach.
Yeah.
Come on, I'm ready to play. I'm ready to go. Like, get that big guy over here. Come on, get around him.
So, do you think in your first season, pre-season, all that sort of stuff, do you think you've been able to handle what's basically been thrown at you as a rookie, or do you feel like you're still learning? Talk to us about that.
There's different parts. I think I've done a pretty good job of getting up to speed. I mean, we've only done 70-80% of our pre-season, but it's a massive jump from Colts basically straight to training with AFL superstars. So there's always going to be times where you're learning, and I'm still developing. I'm still going to be developing for a long time to come. But I feel like all of the new guys, we're all getting up to standard and up to speed pretty quickly. So,
how are you finding your time down at Peel now? Obviously, like we always talk about it in terms of footy, like the biggest jump from underage footy to men's footy is probably the biggest jump in footy you get. Now you go down to Peel, the first game you play, you've got the big Hodor, Sean Darcy, you've got Reedy, who's played about half a dozen games of AFL, and then you kind of like, oh, well, I'll just like stand the forward line.
Yeah, basically I was playing forward the whole game. Got lucky enough to get on the end of one against my old team as well, so it was pretty nice. First game, first goal, but now Sean playing back in the seniors. Had a bit of ruck minutes last week. It's a massive step up. There's way bigger bodies, bigger hits. So
I was just going to say, where do you feel your best footy lies? Is it in the forward line, coming out the cage, or is it in the middle, you're rucking? Where's your best footy coming from?
I like a mixture, in all honesty. I feel like I can always go forward and impact, but I love being in and amongst the action, having first hand on the ball. That's something I've always loved. So, bit of ruck, bit of forward.
The draft highlights are pretty impressive. The video that they put, obviously, they always make you look like $1 million, but they are solid still. Obviously, taking marks around the ground and all that sort of stuff. Have you actually kept that just casually and just pull it out and have a quick yeah, that's right.
I've watched it once and then I'll tell myself I won't do it again. It gets on the ego a bit there. But, pretty handy footballer, I'd like to say. So, yeah.
And how's the ruck group as a collective? You've obviously got, like I said, Reedy, Darcy and Dogger Jackson in there. Are you guys close? Do you work with each other a fair bit? Or
yeah, we are. We've had a couple of ruck dinners actually. Sammy Naismith, our ruck coach, he's hosted one or two, and we're all building great connections, and obviously they've all gotten along pretty well before. So me fitting into that group, they're super welcoming and really helpful on and off the field too. So.
I've got to ask the question: does Vossi get an invite to that, and how does that change the dynamic?
He was pretty upset. He didn't get an invite to the first one, but I think after a few complaints, he got added to the group chat, and he's working his way in there. But he's going pretty well. So yeah.
Added to the group chat. Jeez Louise, that'd be a tough summer. So talk to us about what's the plans in terms of your development down at Peel now. It must be hard because, being the fourth ruckman essentially at the moment, you're down at Peel and you're not playing predominantly in the ruck either. So what are the plans and what are they looking for in your development down there?
I think a bit of versatility. I haven't spent much time forward, but obviously the last few weeks I have, and it's gone pretty well for me recently. That's going to be a big part of my game going forward, being able to play more than one spot, I think, especially in the modern game. Whilst some guys might be called up to play AFL, I might get that opportunity to league level, or if not, to keep learning my craft as a forward, whatever presents itself, really.
Yeah, nice. I guess building on that as well, in terms of this first season, what are your goals? Like, what would you really like to see by the end of this year?
I'd love to play a game, in all honesty. I think that's everyone's dream here at the club, all the new guys. Some kind of side goals, just getting bigger. Obviously, that's a maturity and a development thing, but it's already going to plan. I've added a few kilos. And
What are you at now, if you don't mind me asking? Because if you look at between when you started and when you are now, you put on
I think
the
I'm
kegs.
5 more than when I came to
Yeah.
the club. I think I put on 4 or 5. So
Nice.
Good effort.
Nice. Wish I got that kind of feedback when I put on 4 or 5, mate. Just tell you what. Look, is it? Do you think it like the? And obviously talking to like Dogger Jackson and Sean Darcy are a little bit unique in how their development's been, but do you look at how Liam Reedy's gone and a couple of other boys in terms of like, as a ruckman, you're not in your prime until you're in your late 20s. So are you kind of like, I've got to just be patient and bide my time and do the work and the rewards will come? Is that kind of the mindset that you
yeah, a
have to
little
switch
bit,
onto?
because they're all 24, 25 at least, and I know that naturally I'm going to develop and get stronger and bigger, but there's little craft things now that I can learn, and by the time when I do put on that size, or even in the process now, I'm still getting the reps in to be the best version of myself as soon as I can, really. So.
Yep, nice. And I got to ask the question: who was the first in the ruck group just to go? Listen, young blood, this is how it's done. Just give you the old rag doll.
Well, Sean was obviously off the track for most of the pre-season, but there was a bit of a shock in some of the ball ups. I was literally just getting thrown around by Liam Reedy, but and I was lucky enough to have Dogger on my team most of the time. So, yeah.
Not going up against Dogger. All right, let's do some quick fire
Let's
questions to finish off. Current binge watch. What are you watching at the moment?
Desperate Housewives.
Desperate Housewives.
Yeah, me and my partner going through that.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's an old one, isn't it? Desperate Housewives?
Yeah, you can
Mate,
tell
we've
me
had
the
Prison
age.
Break and Desperate Housewives. Like,
Well, hey,
jeez.
I'm not judging.
They used to be on Channel 7, mate. That's how I remember.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jeez,
All right, let me ask this one now. Duck, I'm going to ask you your third question, well, your next
Yep.
question, which is Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
MJ.
Joe.
There we go.
Which teammate is most likely to burn a bit of toast?
Driz. So,
Okay. Favourite AFL player of all time?
Pav.
Pav. Oh, we'll skip that Freo one and say, do you support any basketball teams in the NBA?
Yeah, I'm a Celtics fan. And
Celtic?
it's not a bandwagon if you're going to ask that.
No,
So,
that's
No,
mate,
I wasn't going to ask that. No.
Yes, Warriors supporter here, and I get ribbed for it all the time, so I feel your pain. Which player is most likely to go a week without washing clothes?
I don't know if I want to answer that. I couldn't tell you in all honesty. I think all the boys smell all right.
Who's most likely to get scammed?
Scammed.
By a foreign prince.
Again, I couldn't tell you. I hope not myself.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you can't tell who's getting scammed,
Yeah,
mate,
it
Just
could
say
be
not
me.
me.
So.
I'd say Aiden, but you're the one getting scammed, mate.
Favourite JL-ism, not JLO, JL-ism.
Ooh. Jeez, again, I'm not sure.
Does Naismith have any? Does he have any things he says over and over, or any little sayings?
No, but in my jersey presentation for Peel for our first game, he did have one, and he won't like me saying this, but he messed it up a bit. He kind of lost his words, but he's told me to never let the jumper touch the ground, so that's something I'll keep with him. So.
Yep, nice. Good.
Nice.
Who is most precious about their car?
Gosh, I'm not. Yeah. I'm stuck. Probably
all right.
not me, because mine's not in great condition at the moment.
In terms of, apart from yourself with the young fellas, who's
Yeah.
the second best basketballer at the club in terms of the young fellas?
Ooh.
Who's giving you competition out
I think
on the court?
Kari's pretty good. He's a lefty, which surprised me at first, but
Okay.
he's got a nice looking jumper. So
Nice,
Okay.
bit of a cricketer as well.
Yeah.
Should have got him more basketball questions.
Yeah, well, there you go.
All right, Aiden, thank you very much for joining us once again, mate. Really looking forward to seeing you develop down at Peel this year, and hopefully you get that chance to pull on the purple and
Yeah.
go out and make us all proud. And it's awesome, man. Really good to see you, and a local boy who's come up the ranks through Hale and Christchurch. And mate, one weird one from last year. Sorry, before we wrap up, last year you had 100 kicks, 100 handballs flat.
Really?
Yeah, had 200 disposals.
Oh, I meant to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right on the
round,
money.
like
You're
round.
like, hang on. Oh, what's up? 199. There we go, 100. No, it's really good. So just weird round numbers that I saw in numerology. Bit of weird stuff. But thank you very much for joining us. And once again, really looking forward to seeing you play this year and develop through Peel. And we know as the fourth ruckman, it can often be hard, and just got to bide your time. And before you know it, you'll be out there in the perps, mate, making us all proud.
Oh, yeah.
No, exactly. Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
No worries.
Cheers.
Good
Thank
luck,
you.
mate. Cheers.
Thanks.
Ta.